Today's video, we're gonna talk about how to optimize your health and your fat loss results through the quality of your nutrition. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tyler Egan. I am an in-person trainer and an online health and mindset coach. And today we're gonna discuss all things nutrient quality. This is going to help you achieve the healthy body you've been looking for and get the fat loss because, well, we're gonna get into that. So, we're talking about nutrient quality foods today. I'm gonna start off. If you listen to my podcast and My Muscle Experience, you know I like to define terms first so we're all on the same page. Nutrient quality foods are foods that are rich in vital nutrients that our body needs to thrive, to live a life of vitality and strength, right? So we need these nutrients to live a life of health, right? So we're talking about real whole foods that come from earth, that are minimally processed, and that have a rich source of certain nutrients. So, for example, like things like coconut oil and olive oil are processed, but they're so minimally processed that you're still gonna get a lot of good nutrients from them, and they're gonna ultimately help your health. Whereas other things like, what's something off the top of my head, like if you go and buy a Snickers, like that's highly processed, highly refined sugars, not gonna have much health benefits, even though it's made with chocolate, and real cacao beans are a health food. So we'll talk about nutrient quality foods, real whole foods that stem from this earth. Of course, it's gonna look a little bit different for everybody. What the nutrient quality foods look like. Some of you guys might have allergic reactions and stuff. So we're gonna talk about the why and the what. So I'm gonna keep it really short and sweet on the why, and then we're gonna dive deeper into the what. So why do we wanna focus on these nutrient quality, nutrient dense foods? The reasons for this are micronutrients, satiety and cravings, inflammation, gut health, and hormone balance. And all of these things are really quite intertwined. It's fucking fascinating. So micronutrients, we're talking about nutrients that our body needs in smaller quantities versus the macronutrients that your body needs in bigger quantities, right? So micronutrients, we're talking about vitamins and minerals, so like vitamins A, B, D, E, C, K, like all the things. We need those for like a healthy metabolism, our body to function well, all the things, minerals for electrolytes and hydration, things like that. Satiety and cravings, again, if we're missing those micronutrients, we might find ourselves with more cravings. High fiber foods, high protein foods will keep you satiated longer. Highly processed foods can cause inflammation, which can lead to poor gut health. There's a direct communication between your gut health, your mental health and your gut health through the vagus nerve. It's a fascinating thing outside of the scope of this video. But if you want to learn more about it, drop it in the comments down below. If you have anything else you want to learn about, because I'm keeping this really short, we can totally talk about it. And last but not least is hormone balancing. So hormone balancing can connect directly to satiety and cravings because of the hormones ghrelin and leptin. And I've discussed that in other videos, and I will put a link in the description and something somewhere up in here so you can find that video where we talk about hormones and the nutrient quality of the foods and why it's so important. So that's the why. There's some simple reasons why it's important to focus on nutrient quality foods. Now let's talk about the what to look for when you're at the grocery store. I'm gonna start this section by saying, you can read it all here, so obviously you can see what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna start this section by saying, this is where people get the turd. And the reason for this is because this stuff is gonna cost you more money. I'm gonna be real with you, it's gonna cost you more money. It costs more money to get the best quality food. And my question to you is, because I know there's gonna be a couple of you out there saying like, oh, I can't afford that, blah, blah. My question to you is your health worth it? Are there other areas of your life you can pull money from? Maybe it's like 25 bucks, and that way you can get the grass-fed, grass-finished beef. So you get the most nutrient-dense source of beef you can find. I'm just gonna challenge you on that. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, whatever, but ultimately it comes down to do the best you can with what you have to work with finances, what your grocery store offers, what you can order offline, and so on. So let's get into this. So what are we looking for? When we're talking about red meat, we wanna look for grass-fed, grass-finished beef. This is going to ensure us that the animal was raised well, eating a diet that is meant for the animal itself. And so if we're looking for cattle, we wanna go for grass-fed, grass-finished, because that grass-fed is what you'll find in the grocery store a lot of the time. But grass-fed, grass-finished really ensures that we're getting the most nutrient-dense beef out there, because a lot of grass-fed cattle can be finished with grain. And so they're fed with a lot of them GMO crops that ultimately don't agree with a cow's gut in the first place, which is where we can start to run into issues with red meat and whatnot. So you wanna search for grass-fed, grass-finished. If you can't find that in the grocery store, go for grass-fed and then conventional in that order. You can find grass-fed, grass-finished a lot online if you're looking for a source of that. go ahead and find my email and stuff like that in the description and shoot me a message. I'll show you where you can find those. Next up, we talk about poultry. We want to go over pasture raised, and I didn't write it down, but also pasture raised and organic. There's like 4 different marketing terms for how eggs can be raised. There's conventional, there's, I believe, cage-free, free range, and then pasture raised. Pasture raised is going to ensure that the chicken, the poultry, can go out and roam on the land. If it's free range, it has the ability to go outside, like the barn doors are open, but it doesn't mean the chicken actually goes outside. Cage-free just means they don't live in a cage, and then conventional means they're basically living in cages and in this like small little coop on top of one another. They're fed with shitty GMO grains and things that might not agree with the animal, and they're probably pumped with hormones and stuff like that. And so we're getting pasture raised, or better, even yet, I didn't even think about this until right now, local eggs. If you know someone who has chickens, go get the eggs from them, right? Because then you know exactly how they're raised. So anyway, pasture raised is what you want to go for. That's gonna be the best bet. Yes, it's gonna be more money, but again, I'm gonna go back to my other point. I'm gonna challenge you a little bit. Is there other areas of your life you can pull money from? That way you can ensure that you're investing fully in your health. The food we consume is an investment in ourselves. Okay, next up, when we talk about seafood, we wanna search for wild caught salmon, mackerel, things like that. That way, we are not getting a farm-raised fish that is, again, fed a bunch of crap that doesn't agree with the animal, or the fish in this case. And when we talk about seafood, the key nutrient that is gonna be omega-3 fatty acids, really helpful for it's an anti-inflammatory nutrient. It's really good for brain health and heart health. And for my menopausal women out there, that anti-inflammatory factor is gonna be really helpful for menopause. So the fish get that from algae in the ocean. And so if we're getting farm-raised fish, they might not be as rich in omega-3. So we wanna go for wild caught where we can find it. Next up, let's talk about fruits and vegetables. In this case, the best bet is gonna be seasonal, local, and organic. We're gonna dive deeper into this because I wrote the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen here. Those are lists that you can refer to when it comes to organic. But if you can get seasonal and local vegetables and fruit, that's gonna be your best bet. If they're local and seasonal, then you can ensure that you're buying them when they're ripe and full of all the nutrients that you're looking for. If they're local, you can even determine how they're cared for, how the farmers care for it, and you can ensure that you're buying the best quality food out there for yourself. Plus, it might be a little bit cheaper and local governments, economy, stuff like that. Seasonal is gonna be important because if it's January right now, I live in New Jersey, and I'm getting bananas shipped in, they're gonna be picked when they're not as ripe so they can make their way here and be okay in the stores. That may not be the best practice if I want nutrient-dense foods, right? And that's what we're talking about here, nutrient quality. So seasonal and local are gonna be your best bet. And then let's talk about organic. Organic, I get it. It's gonna be way more expensive in the store for certain things. Some of them really aren't that bad. So in that case, let's look at the Clean 15 for fruits and vegetables and produce. If something's on the Clean 15, it might have like a shell in the casing, meaning you don't have to buy it organic, and it's sprayed less with pesticides and herbicides. And those types of things can disrupt our hormonal system, our endocrine system. So where we can, go organic fruits and vegetables, but the Clean 15, you don't have to buy organic, you can buy that conventionally grown. The Dirty Dozen, however, is highly sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, things like that, and that list is something that you want to seek out organic fruits and vegetables for. And then last but not least, when we talk about grains, oh my God, grains, legumes, and nuts, sprouted grains and legumes are gonna be your best bet. Now, I'm not an expert in the sprouting process, but what I do know is the sprouting process of these foods will remove some of the plant defense chemicals that may not agree with us. And so if you get a lot of bloating from like beans and stuff like that, it could be because of the plant defense chemicals that are in the beans itself are not agreeing with you. And so it's causing bloating, gas, those types of things. But the sprouting process will remove this. You can buy sprouted like brown rice off of Amazon. I think I buy 25 pounds at a time for like 60 bucks, and it lasts me, I don't even know how long, I've never checked it out. So sprouted grains, legumes, and nuts are gonna be your best bet there. So here we talked about a lot of our protein sources, grains, legumes, nuts, and our fish and produce. Okay, so again, this is the what and the why behind nutrient quality. Again, it's gonna be an investment in your health. And are you worth it? I think you are. So do the best you can with what you got. Invest your hard-earned money into the best quality food so you can get the most out of your body, get the best quality of life, vitality, and longevity. I'm gonna wrap this already up here. If you guys took anything from this video, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you learned. Let me know what you wanna hear more from me. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell so you can see when I post. I'm posting weekly videos, long format, and I'll be posting shorts pretty routinely. Check out my podcast, The Mind Muscle Experience, and you can find me on social media. All the links will be in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video.